What's up, single players? J. Scott Brown here today, giving you an exclusive first look for Bomb. Has a few names. On the Steam page, it's called Bomb Who Let the Dog Fight? Question mark. As if it's a question. And Bomb, The Adventures of Marcel Gatson Against Time and Pride. Now, it's developed and published by Moustache Studio. Perhaps one of the better names for a gaming development studio. And it's an indie game from them, of course. It's kind of a flight simulator, arcadey type thing, and it's a little interesting to say the least. I don't know. Let's jump into it, because I've played a few levels in the campaign already, and it's just a little bit strange, to say the least, because in terms of the way you control the plane, it takes a lot of getting used to, and, well, you'll see what I mean. Let's jump into the first level. It's called Spam. As you can see, I haven't played too much of the game, just because it's kind of difficult to kind of navigate what you're supposed to do. So I'm using the keyboard to play at the moment to fly the actual plane. And it should be noted that I tried to use my controller, and it didn't really work because you can't actually bind the keys. You have to. The only keys you can bind are the two left triggers and the analog sticks. The actual buttons you can't actually bind to anything. I don't know why. It's a little strange, but I'm using the keyboard for that reason. I would like to use the joystick, but I can't. Alright, so we'll actually get in the air here. So you have to actually use the keyboard to go up with WASD and then get your arrow keys up and you're in the air. Now, this is actually the first level in the game. Keep in mind that there isn't really a tutorial. I had to figure this all out on my own. Besides the fact that it gives you a couple on-screen prompts for buttons, but then again, it doesn't really tell you the important stuff like how to boost or how to use your weapon. It just tells you that F1 and changes the cameras and stuff like that, so you go third person and you go back into first person. There's actually some practice missions you can do, which kind of, I guess, they're kind of like practice, but they're not really, again, tutorials. And I only mention this because I feel like it's important in a simulator game, and I wouldn't even call this a flight simulator, but a game that has a flight element to it usually has some depth and some difficulty to the way you control it. So it usually is helpful that you require that sort of stuff. So we're just teetering along. We're flying along in this the first mission here. Not really doing anything. Not really doing too much. Some dialogue. Almost there. Get ready to open the hatch. Seriously? They're shooting at us? You have been warned. Advertising is forbidden on our island. That's unfortunate. Fools, a half-price buffet is fantastic value. Alright, so that's it. Mission's done. And so the first mistake I made actually when playing this mission the first time, it gives you another waypoint, which you would assume is where you go to finish the mission, but no, you're just supposed to hit escape and go next level, so we'll do that. Okay, that was the first mission, so we'll go into the second mission. There usually is some dialogue build up to the missions, but I'm just playing them so I could show you. Oh, that's a little awkward. There you go. Okay. Alright, so this mission is about kind of finding an enemy mercenary plane and taking it down, so we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, as I said, there's sometimes a little bit of dialogue build up to missions, but it just really gives some context. It's not really that important. Alright, so we're flying, and we're looking for this other plane. And, alright, cool. We're in the air, and at this point I kind of just hold down the W key, don't do too much. The plane will just boost on its own when it gets to full boost. There you go, don't have to do anything. And it's a little weird as well, because you're supposed to have this camera control, it seems, but you obviously need the mouse to do that. And you can't do that if you're using the arrow keys, so unless you have three hands, which is obviously not something that's typical. You know, I'm not trying to discriminate. If you do have three hands, that's lovely, and I'm very envious of that. That would be very helpful, but no, I don't have three hands, so I have to actually move my hand to the mouse if I want to adjust the camera in some way or do a 360 head spin. So that's a little weird as well. I think we're just about to run into this plane here, I guess. Unless it's invisible. It might be invisible. I don't know. Do they have some stealth things going on? Oh, it must be... Is it invisible? What the... Oh, no, there we go. Okay. Alright, so press stick 1, button 2 to lock the target. Okay, this is another thing that's a bit weird because obviously those aren't keys on my keyboard, so I don't actually know, but luckily I figured out it was spacebar, so we can go ahead and shoot him. But it's a bit weird. In the next mission it tells you you have to use rockets, but again it tells you that you press button 6 or something random, which of course is not really helpful when you're using a keyboard, which is what I would assume most people would play this on, unless you have a joystick or like a flight controller. Alright, there we go. Mission accomplished. He's learnt his lesson. So, cool. So you actually, okay, to the game's credit, it says you can go and land the plane. But that would seem a little bit silly, so let's just go to the next level. Alright, so I should be able to go continue now. That is really weird. I don't know why it's doing that. It's quite ugly. Alright, cool. We'll just skip this because there's nothing really to this. Okay, Demolition Inc. Alright, so we're starting in the air this time, which is a little bit different. So, here we go. We'll be flying to the waypoint. We got some rockets in the bottom right. As I said, it took me a while the first time to figure out how to use them, but I did realize that I did figure it out after just mashing everything that it's enter. Alright, searching for the warehouse. Alright, there we go. Oh, it does this kind of strange thing where the camera locks on at some times and you lose control of it, which is a bit weird, but it's okay. Alright. Let's see if that actually... Nope, that's gonna miss. Okay. Have to go all the way around again, I think. And if I miss this rocket, I think we just have to restart, because there's no way of replenishing that, I believe. I don't think so, anyway. Oh, I might be too close. See if we can get a bit of a run-up. Okay, here we go. Rocket that shit. There we go. Alright, mission accomplished. Okay, so as it said, mission complete, so I assume maybe there's more to this one, which would be kind of nice. Might be a bit refreshing to do more than one objective. Let's see. Am I in the waypoint yet? Oh, I think I'm getting that. There we go. Okay. Look, Midas, isn't he dumb? Isn't he the dumbass who set fire on our casino? Obviously, it's a dirty habit of him. Let's take him down by surprise. Oh no, not the Pennington brothers. How? Question mark? You're on the comment channel. I can hear everything you say. Ah, gotcha. Defend yourself, okay? Oh my god, it's a big turn. Alright. Alright, so we'll gun these guys down. Oh god. It is hard to shoot. There we go. We tagged him. There you go. Where you going? You don't actually have ammo, so we can just kind of keep going. Just hold down the space key and just hover the crosshair over them. There we go. Come up. Where you go? He's just gonna fly into the water? What the fuck? It's getting dangerously close. Oh wow, I almost hit the water there actually. There we go. Curse you, Marcel! These planes are really beefy. Take a lot of bullets. There we go. Here's this guy. This is the skinny one, right? Already killed the fatty. Come on. Oh my god. He is zipping and dipping and dopping all over the place. Are you serious? You joking me? Come on. Come on. Where you at? Oh my god. How do you get over there? I feel like he has some nitrous or something, but I'm not privy to. Oh wow. Alright, so clearly I'm not the best at this. Given the fact, to be honest, I always am pretty bad at these flight sort of things, especially in like games like Battlefield and all that stuff where it's pretty important to know how to fly shit and keep that on track. So we'll see if we can actually kill this guy. That'll be awesome. Woo! Woo! There you go, steady. There she blows. Oh my god, he's doing like a sharp turn. No. No! Ah! Alright, well let's check out some of the other stuff. Because clearly I am incapable of that. Yeah, there's some of these sample missions. There's just free flight where you fly around. Survival, so I assume that's like a horde mode actually, and then there's these online sort of things you could do, I guess, if you want to play with your buds. Let's do real quick a skirmish and we'll just see how this goes. Alright, yeah, that's good. Let's go with that. Get a flak gun. Cool. How do we start this? There we go. Alright. So I assume this is like a death match. Oh my god, it's really, this plane flies really strangely actually. Oh, it's like a jet, okay. I could do that. Oh my god, this is fucking tough. Oh wow. Oh, that was close. That was a close one. Be nice to go a little faster, but this is actually the fastest you can go. Unfortunately. Oh, easy boy. Oh god. Cheeky barrel roll, because why not? I don't think, is this guy even on the map anymore? Alright, well that happened. Okay, well we'll just go back to the main menu then. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Bomb for the most part. There's not really much else to it. So regardless of the fact that I'm pretty bad at anything to do with flying, there's just not really much to this game. But if you saw anything that kind of, I guess, elicits some sort of intrigue, then by all means go check it out. As I said, it's called something different on Steam. It's called Bomb Who Let the Dog Fight. which again, I don't understand the punctuation there, but that's fine. It's weird grammatically. But again, ladies and gentlemen, that's Bomb. If you want to check it out and give it a look, by all means, but I don't think I can really endorse the $15 purchase because it's just kind of void of anything worthwhile in terms of content. It's really kind of a weird design to not let the controller be a key aspect there. I don't know. Maybe if you have a flight joystick and all the gear ready to go, this game works a lot better. So by all means, if you want to check it out for that reason, maybe it's going to be a lot better for that. I'm not sure. But if you just want to play a flight game with your keyboard, I believe Bomb might not be the best thing you could get for that price anyway. But ladies and gentlemen, that's me done for the day. Please subscribe to this channel and like the video below. I'd appreciate it very, very much. Follow me on Twitter and follow Only Single Player on Twitter if you want to stay updated with all the latest first looks and videos. But that's me done for the day, and I'll see you next time.